This is Three Beards Media. Real talk, no filters, no scripts. From sports to culture, we say what others won't. Turn it up, lock in, because it all starts right now. Live from the AKC Andrew Downs Studios and powered by Revelton Distilling Company.
Would you like to sample some of my nuts?
You can lift your weights, you can run your miles, but you ain't got what's been earned through trials. It ain't in the gym, ain't in the youth, it's in busting knuckles and hard-lived truth. Back's been sore since 99, but I still stack wood and I still outgrind. Call me slow, call me old, but I got hands that could bend pure gold. Ain't about muscle, ain't about speed, it's about the fire when the time comes to lead. You can talk real tough, you can flex real wide, but when it's time to dig in, boys, step aside. Old man strength, built to last, years of work, no need for class. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt, you don't know tough till you've been worn out.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Old Man Strength. I am your host, Chris Shipley. We are powered by Revelton Distilling Company and broadcasting live from the AKC Andrew Downs Studios. Again, I am Chris Shipley. I'm broadcasting actually from the Williams Syndrome National Convention in Buffalo. It's a vibe out here, let me tell you, people. It's crazy. It might people call Disneyland the happiest place on earth. Being around a bunch of Williams Syndrome people is the happiest place on earth. It's crazy. But I am super excited. I pivoted. I'm broadcasting from this fancy hotel room because this was when Sean Roberts was able to hop on with me, and I really appreciate, Sean, that you taking the time. I know it's been a crazy couple of weeks, and I know I've hit you up a couple of times, so I do appreciate you carving out some time during Miles' nap.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, Chris. Yeah, this is it worked out good. Between 1:30 and 3:30, 4 o'clock is afternoon nap time. So this is it worked out perfectly for me.
I just have to tell you that I was a father. I am a father. I raised two little ones, and then I met Stacy, who had the boys. The parenting right now that goes on with you guys as opposed to what I did 30 some years ago is crazy. Like scheduled nap times, that never happened for me, for my kids. There's a lady that I work with who's pregnant, and she's got like all these things that she can't eat and can't do. And I was just like, what is this? Like, what do you mean you can't eat lunch meat? Like what?
Yeah, it's funny when we were going through the process of being pregnant, and then when we had Miles, and like hearing my mom and like even like Kaylee's dad, and they were talking about how we were raised and this and that, and even just from the part of what you can have in the crib during sleeping compared to like what we grew like it, like right now there's like no blankets and this and that because they could suffocate or all this stuff. My mom's like, you slept with a blanket, like we're like whatever.
Yeah.
Like so it's been interesting to have those conversations and what we're doing and everything like that. But
I remember Tyler teething, and my father-in-law was like, just put a little Jack Daniels on his gums. It's all good. And I was like, okay,
Right.
that's what we did. Now,
Yeah.
if I did that, somebody would be turning me in. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, you get turned in real quick. So unless they're on the same page as you. But
that's right. Yeah. I survived. I'm fine.
there you go.
So, this has been kind of a whirlwind for the last few weeks, and I don't want to touch on anything that you don't know, although I know probably a lot of listeners want to hear that. So this is your show, brother. So whatever you want to go into, but I'll start with this. Des Moines watched you grow up, right?
Yeah.
You started as a young man in the market. So tell me just a little bit about growing up in Des Moines and coming from Chicago. You started at Grandview. Give us a little bit of background story there.
Yeah. And you're 1,000% correct, Chris. Des Moines and the state of Iowa got to watch me grow up throughout the last almost 12, 13 years. I graduated. I came from the suburbs of Chicago, um, and if you would ask me way back then if I would have ended up in Des Moines, Iowa, living my life, and staying here and everything, I probably would have I would have been like, where the hell is Des Moines? I took the Capitals test at some point in my life, but I don't know where that is. But I probably would, like, in all honesty, like, I would have laughed. I would have been like, no way. Like, at that, I wouldn't have known where I was going to school, yet. But like, even at that point, my life, I thought at that time, was always for me to end up back home in Chicago, and staying there and living there and starting my life there, and becoming an adult, have all my, like, that was like where everything was going to be. And I'm in the process of going through high school, and um my whole life I thought I was going to go into the Navy. Like, college wasn't even on my radar. I was going to go into the Navy. My dad was in the Navy, my grandpa was in the Navy, my great grandpa was in the Navy. Like, everyone was in the Navy. And so I was just like, okay, well, I'll go through high school, I'll do enough to graduate, and I will go into the Navy. And I'll never forget the conversation of my dad having or that we had, in my junior year of high school, because my junior year of high school, I started to get recruited by colleges for baseball. I started to get some letters and stuff like that. And I remember my dad sitting down with me and just going, hey, this is like, you need to look at this seriously. And like, you have some real options here. And if you have the chance to go play college baseball, you go play college baseball. Like, you don't necessarily need to take the route that I took, or, grandpa took, or anything like that. Like, create your own journey in a sense, right? Like, go be the first Roberts to go graduate college,
Right.
for male, I should say.
Sure.
And so as like that recruitment period went on, and stuff like that, I was like, okay, it was a lot of like small Division 3 schools. And I looked at my options after my senior year, and my option, like, I was like, well, I feel like I can play so I could play Division 3. Um, but I want to see what else more can I accomplish. So I ended up going to my junior college, College of DuPage, and playing baseball there, because they were recruiting me, and I ended up going there. And when I got to the junior college aspect, like, all my friends at that point had gone to college. They're all at school, and I was the one left back. Like, I stayed home and was driving 25-minute commute every day to and from school and practice, and all that. And I didn't have my core group of friends around me anymore. So make friends with guys on the team, and start becoming friends with those guys, and all that. But I took, man, those 2 years that I was at my JUCO, academically I was like, whatever, do enough to get out of here,
Sure.
right? But I took that to heart, and I wanted to do everything I possibly could to get out, and give myself the best options that I had. Um, and like, I had Chicago State was recruiting me, which was a Division 1 school. I had a lot of Division 2 schools looking at me. The D3 schools that were recruiting me 2 years prior, or 3 years prior, out of high school, they were still recruiting me. I had NAIA schools. I had schools in West Palm Beach, Florida. I had schools in North Carolina, and their baseball stadium was in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, and it looked awesome, right? Like, I was like,
Yeah.
this is great. I will never, Chris. This is funny. I won't say the school because I don't want it to ever come back on them, but it was an NAI school in North Carolina. And I remember, like, here's the other thing that people might not know about recruitment. Like, these coaches are like, they haven't seen you play. At that
Sure.
time, there wasn't video or anything, so
Right.
they get sent stats, or they get sent information from somebody, and they're like, hey, you know what, that kid could be a good fit here. Let's give him a call, and let's see what we can offer him. And I don't know what that's like now, but that's how it was back then. I was like, this guy has never seen me pitch, and
Right.
he's offering me a scholarship to come play. Anyway, on the phone with him, and his recruiting pitch was like, he's got his North Carolina accent, and he goes, Sean, I'm gonna be honest with you. what you do inside the classroom, I don't give an F. He goes, I need you to come here and play baseball. I need you to come here and pitch for me. As long as you're a respectable citizen to the community, and you don't get in too much trouble, I don't give a damn. We'll figure it out. And
We'll get you through.
I was like, all right, that sounds awesome, right? And I was really tempted to take that recruitment really seriously because it was going to be a baseball scholarship. The stadium was in the middle of the Appalachian Mountains, like I said, like surrounded. Looked awesome,
that
right?
sounds cool. Yeah.
Like, if you've ever seen Appalachian State,
yes.
like they're like, if you look at their baseball field, it was like that, but NAI level. Nothing against NAI, but it wasn't like, it was a baseball field in the mountains,
right?
But it was cool. Anyway, so in that recruitment process, I was like, okay, do I want to go to like Florida? Do I want to go to North Carolina? Do I want to go to Indiana? Do I want to go, like, where do I want to go and what do I want to do? Because at that point, I'm like, baseball is going to be done for me in 2-3 years. And I know I'm going to want to do something that I love doing. And growing up, it was baseball and talking sports. And that was everything I've always wanted to do. I was obsessed with sports talk radio and getting into that industry. And it was always something that I wanted to be a part of. And I grew up in a place that, like, sports talk radio in Chicago was like, when in the 90s and in the 2000s, like,
it was
huge. It was huge. That's all I listened to.
Yeah.
So I was like, these guys get to talk sports for a living and give their opinions, and they don't care what people like. Yes, I'm all for it. So when part of my recruiting aspect was, hey, is there a communication program? Is there a broadcasting program? Like, how far do I want to be from home? All these things, right? Well, Grandview calls, and Coach Yasinich starts recruiting me, and I was like, man, it's a 5-hour drive. So I'm because I wanted to get away from home. I was like, I get away from home, but I'm not too far where, like, if something happens, I can drive, or if I need to get home for something, I don't necessarily need to fly. Right. It's a 5-hour drive. Des Moines looks cool. Like, there's a city there. There's at least one tall building, right? Like, it's 5 minutes away from the campus. I'm like, so I get that kind of city-ish atmosphere that I'm kind of looking for. They're going to give me a baseball scholarship. They got a broadcasting program. They got a radio station on the campus, right? Like, there's radio classes I can take. Like, I remember leaving my visit at Grandview, and it was, we were 20 minutes on 80 driving home, me and my mom. And I turned to her, I said, that's where I'm going to school. Like, that, I'm good. That's where I want to go. Remember getting home, called Coach Yasinich up 40 and was like, all right, I'm in. He goes, are you ready to wear the red shoes at Grant? Because, like, at that time, he was doing, everyone had to wear red cleats at Grandview. Like, there was uniform structure at that time.
Yeah.
Are you ready to wear the red cleats here at Grandview, son? And I was like, you sign me up, coach. I'm in. Let's do it. Right. So I ended up, coming to Grandview, graduate in 2012 with a broadcasting degree. And, like, Grandview was some of the best years of my entire life. Like, some of my best friends still to this day, I played baseball with there and lived with, and just an incredible 3 years, right? And so I graduate with a broadcasting degree. I think I was the last one to graduate with a broadcasting degree because I think I graduated in the summer, and that fall semester, I believe they switched it to, like, multimedia sports or something like that.
Huh.
Wild. So
imagine that.
Yeah. So, well, part of my way to graduate is, sorry, that might be coming from me. I'll turn
I don't even hear anything, so you're fine.
There we go. So anyway, part of my graduation, I had to intern. And so I interned at the radio station, and I was like, okay, this is what I'm going, it was at iHeart, and I'm interning there, and I'm like, this is incredible. This is everything I thought it was going to be, and this and that. Internship ends, no job for me, right? No jobs available. Okay. So I worked at Jimmy John's, I worked at Finish Line, I worked for a marketing company, I worked for Wells Fargo, I was just, and every month and a half, I would text my old supervisor for my internship at the radio station. And it's like, is there a job? You got anything? Nothing. Finally, I'm sitting at my desk at Wells Fargo. He sends me a text. He goes, hey, there's a board op position to pretty much babysit the Elvis Duran in the morning show on Kiss. I'm in. Sign me up. Whatever I got to do, I'm in.
Right. Get in the door.
So did that for a year. And then at that time, would have been October of 2014. The producer board op job on the Morning Rush with Travis and Ross at the time opened up, and I was like, I'm in. Like, that's where I want to go. What do I got to do to move down the hall and whatever?
Right.
So yeah, October 2014 is when I started. I think I was 24 years old at that time. And yeah, then, I mean, I went from making really dumb mistakes to oversleeping to working 13, 14-hour days to all of a sudden, 2022, I get the call to be full-time and host the afternoon show. And that was a dream come true for me. And then last June got promoted to program director, which was something that I never even thought of doing or even had any interest in doing. And then everything happened a couple weeks ago. But yeah, Des Moines got to watch me. Long story short, Des Moines got to watch me grow up, man. And,
I mean, that's kind of the point of the question, right?
So many different things.
So you talked about what 20-year-old Sean wanted to accomplish, but I guess my question to you is
are you muted, Chris?
At that, what? Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
Are you muted?
Nope. No, I'm not muted. I can hear you just fine, though.
I lost sound here. Let's see. Sorry, that's my hand. I'm
that's
messing
all right.
with things.
You're good.
Says everything's on. This is not good radio here.
It's not good.
I'm gonna try something. Hold on. I'm gonna try something else.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to take a break. We're going to get a break and go to commercial. We'll get a word from Revelton Distilling Company and Iowa Beef Steakhouse, and we'll be right back with Sean Roberts.
What happens when Iowa grain meets world-class craftsmanship? At Revelton Distilling Company, every bottle begins right here in the heartland. From locally sourced Iowa corn and rye to the final pour, our grain-to-glass process ensures exceptional quality in every sip. Whether you're enjoying our award-winning mulberry gin, smooth honey whiskey, or rich whiskey and cream liqueur, you're tasting the best of Iowa in every bottle. And now, Revelton can ship directly to 48 states across the country. Visit ReveltonDistillery.com and have Iowa's finest delivered right to your door.
In the heart of Des Moines, one name stands above the rest. Step inside, where tradition still matters. Warm, familiar, unmistakably Iowa, where every guest is welcomed like family. Service that's personal and never rushed. Fresh starts made daily. Iowa beef, hand-seasoned. Guided by fire, built on flavor. Served with pride. A bar as bold as the menu. Featuring the old-fashioned we're known for. A place that stays with you long after the night ends. Iowa Beef Steakhouse, 1201 East Euclid Avenue, Des Moines. Steak done right.
Gentlemen, let's be honest. Finding the perfect gift for your wife or girlfriend isn't always easy. You want something thoughtful, stylish, and unique. And that's exactly what you'll find at Styled by JJ Boutique. Julia Bradshaw and her team strive to be your go-to boutique for casual, boho, and chic clothing and accessories, helping women elevate their style one piece at a time. Located right here in Johnston, Iowa, Styled by JJ brings trendy, high-quality fashion that boosts confidence without breaking the bank. So, if you're looking for a gift that says, I get you, instead of I tried, head to Styled by JJ Boutique. Because nothing makes her smile like feeling beautiful. Styled by JJ Boutique, where style meets confidence. Visit our Johnston location or shop online at styledbyjjboutique.com.
It's a big meeting. All the families are going to be there. I need the best Italian restaurants you can find. Authentic Italian restaurants. About Fazoli's.
Hey, boss, I know a place.
You got a place?
I got a place.
Take me to it.
Hey, the 5 families are coming into town. I need your best tonight. The boss is on me. This is a make or break deal here. I need them to be happy, so bring us your best. Can you handle that?
Always the best at Chuck's. Always. I got you.
Since 1956, Chuck's has been a staple of family Italian dining in Des Moines. From fresh homemade pizzas and classic pasta dishes to ice-cold beer and handcrafted cocktails shared among friends, Chuck's has been bringing people together for generations.
Billy, I see you've assembled the 5 families. I would like an introduction, please.
We got Billy and Dolly, boss.
From the family circus. I hope you came directly here.
We got Thing.
From the Addams family. Nice tie.
We got Brian.
From the Family Guy. Doesn't look so hot, does he?
Let himself go a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Well, boss, I can't seem to track down the Griswold.
Oh, the family went on vacation, so don't worry about it.
Whole family?
Whole family.
And we got Vinny Gabagool.
Ah, from the Gambino family. Welcome, everyone. Oh, look at that. Welcome to Chuck's. Everybody, manja.
Come over to Chuck's, where all families get to eat. And kids eat free on Thursdays.
All right, and we're back with Sean
you,
Roberts. So you're
Chris.
back.
There we go.
I bet you don't miss those dead air texts, do you? Didn't you
Dude,
say that the other day? You text me, you're like, I don't give a shit.
I do not miss that. So sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. We're good.
I was like, also, I lost sound.
I heard every word you said. That's what's crazy. So
I didn't hear anything on your end. So okay, cool. Well, anyway.
All right. So you talked about where you thought you would be. Where do you think younger self Sean would be most surprised about where you're at now?
God, that's a really good question.
We don't ask dumb questions around here, Sean. We're on it.
No, it's a good question. Like, how young are we talking here?
Well, what the guy that comes to Des Moines is like, I'm going to be here 2 years and I'm out of here. You know what I mean? Short of still being in Des Moines.
Yeah, like I think if younger Sean coming to Des Moines, if I would have told you when you're 36, about to turn 37, that you'd be living here and you'd have a family, and honestly, man, I don't think I would have believed myself. Like I had no intent. In all honesty, Chris, I had no intention of ever staying here, ever living here. I mean, really, and this is why, like, my internship is why I even stayed here when I did, because my internship went through September and I had to be out of my apartment dorm at Grandview at the end of July. So me and my buddy, like, we signed a 12-month lease while I finished up my internship. So like, if my internship doesn't go to September, like, I moved back home, and like, if my internship would have been done when I had to be out at Grandview, like, I would have never been here. I would have never stayed. I would have never got my career in radio here. I would have tried to get something at like 6-7 score ESP 1000 back home, and then if like that didn't work out, get a job somewhere and start my life back home.
Right.
So, I think telling my younger self that you would have stayed here and lived here and started your life here and started your family here and then accomplished everything that I got to accomplish in my radio career, I would have never believed it.
So at what point did it become home?
That's another guy. I mean, honestly, I wanted to think it was home back when I was in back when I was a part timer. I wanted to believe like this was home, but there were so many times that I was like that I fought with myself. Like, is this worth continuing to do? I can move back home, especially like when I was single. Like I can move
Sure.
back home, and I radio is what is tying me here. It's what is tying me here because like I can go get a bank job back home. I can go. Radio is why I'm still here, And then met Kaylee and get offered the full time job, and I think that's when it really truly set in. Like when really Kaylee was when it felt home to me because she was when we first met, she had just launched her Des Moines she's a franchise owner for a dance company. She owns
Yeah.
Iowa City and Des Moines. And like she was going to be entrenched here, and I was still a part-timer at the time, but I think when I met her, like that was like, okay, this, and I knew very very early on in our relationship, I'm like, this is the woman I'm going to marry. Like this is I've met the one, and it's getting, like this is it's happening. And I think that's when it fell home was when I met her, and soon after, get the full time job, and then we get engaged, and it was like, okay, we're off and running. Like this, I'm not leaving Iowa anytime soon, right?
Right.
Like, and I still like I this is home for me now. I love it here. I think it's a very small town feel where it's like it feels like everybody knows everybody, or everybody kind of has a connection to somebody
Yeah.
that you have a connection with, or
Well, and I think
whatever.
that's a lot in this industry too, right?
Oh,
Like I
absolutely.
mean,
Yeah.
there's people that I know that I never thought I would know just based off connections of Three Beards Media and you guys and whatever. And I know this person, and then this person introduced me to this person. Of course, it didn't help that that your voice is across the state of Iowa for several years and things like that as well. So I mean, that certainly helps. But yeah, um, I think the last time we interviewed you, you hadn't met Kaylee yet.
Yeah.
So, and if you're comfortable with it, why don't you tell everybody how you met Kaylee? Where'd you guys meet?
Beer Can Alley. I met at Beer Can
So
Alley.
it's Teddy's fault.
Yeah. Teddy has a lot to do with at least three marriages, including myself.
Well, let me tell you about Teddy, because I remember when you were when that happened in 2022. He sent me a text. I know he sent a bunch of people a text. He's like, "Listen, we got to do everything we can to make sure Sean gets that job." Like Teddy had your back.
Yeah.
And I agreed. You know what I mean? You deserved it. You worked for it. But just a little shout out for Teddy, because he certainly took care of you. But
yeah, no, he's the best, man. He's the best. I golfed with him last week, actually, so it was good to see my buddy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm emceeing New Year's Eve at Beer Can Alley. Would have been December 31st, 2020, heading into December 1st, 2021. I'm emceeing. Buddy Michael Admire, who's Drake men's basketball player, Playboys, Channel 13. He shoots me a text like 2 nights prior to that, and it's like, hey, thinking about coming to Beer Can, this and that. Got a group of us. I'm like, awesome. Like, looking forward to seeing you. And that night, I was over talking to Michael, and I'm like, who's that blonde girl? She's got sparkly pants on. Who's that blonde girl over there? He goes, that's Kaylee. He goes, what's funny is she recognized you. We had matched on Hinge. Dating site, right? We had matched on Hinge. She ghosted me.
Oh.
She thought I came off douchey. Which I probably did.
That.
Right? Which I probably did. And I own that, right? And And I was like, man, she is. I was like, Michael, you got to introduce me to her. I'm like, you have to. So he introduced me to her, and they went to college together. That's how. And so when Kaylee moved here to open up her Des Moines business, like really, I mean, she knew like two people. It was Michael and his wife, and so we introduce each other, and I'm probably coming off extremely douchey because I'm like, oh, I'm MCing, I'm doing the whole
Super
thing here, and
important over
I'm like,
here.
I'll take you backstage. You can meet Johnny McGuire and all this, and she's like, but we really, and I was with the boys that night, and I was infatuated with her. I was like, we sat at the bar. Um, when I wasn't doing my MC duties, we sat at the bar and just talked and got to know each other. And she did come backstage with me when I went up there to do the countdown for midnight and everything. Um, and yeah, and I remember I invited her over the next day to watch the Notre Dame Alabama playoff game.
Man,
which
just playing
was
with fire.
Ballsy out of me. And she came, and to her credit, she came over and we ordered pizza, and we just hung out, and I was very tame. I didn't throw anything. I wasn't yelling. Because I wanted to make a good impression.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah.
Now,
so we meet and we start dating and this and that, and that following starts of the football season, she got to see the real Sean during a Notre Dame game, and she was like, "What the hell is this? This isn't the guy that I watched."
Right.
The first time we hung out. But yeah, that's how we met. We met at Beer Can Alley, thanks to Teddy and Michael Admire, and so which was a cool moment for the both of us was when we got married. Michael officiated our wedding.
Yeah.
So like that was a cool like full circle moment there for the both of us, because Michael was there the night we met, and then he was there the night that we tied the knot.
Didn't
and
he took your proposal photos too, right?
Yeah.
Which again is another thing that's just crazy to me that this generation does that, and I'm over here like I think well, my proposal to Stacy was on stage at a concert, so it's actually on YouTube. It's actually on a YouTube video. We were at a Nada's concert. Well, the night before, we were at my house, and we had looked at a ring together, and I went and picked it up, but I hadn't, and we were going to go to the Nada's concert, and then I wanted to take her to Gray's Lake and propose to her on the bridge there at Gray's Lake, because that was actually where we had our first kiss.
Okay.
And I'm a terrible liar. I can't do it. And she can tell when I'm lying. We're sitting there on my patio, and she's like, you're probably going to, she's like, are we going to the Nada's concert tomorrow night? And I was like, yeah. She's like, you're probably going to propose to me at Gray's Lake afterwards. And I thought, motherfucker, God damn it. So we go to this concert, and I'm like, I'm over here going, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, I can't take her to Gray's Lake now. I can't let her, think that she was right. So I saw this guy walking around who was filming stuff for the band. So he was filming concert footage because they were putting together some clips and whatever. So I told her I had to go to the restroom, and I walked over and I said, hey, can you ask the band if they would call me up? I want to ask my girlfriend to marry me. He's like, yeah. So then I watch him. Pretty soon he walks over and he hands a slip of paper to the drummer. And then the lead singer pulls me up, and I go up there and I invite her up, and well, they filmed the whole thing, and they did a live album called Nada's on the River, and I think track number 11 is The Proposal.
Okay.
And it's actually and it's on a YouTube video that they did for this one song, and they kind of silence it, and then I propose. It's super cool. So it's always a memory that we'll have. So, but yeah,
very cool.
Very cool. So Kaylee comes into your life. How has she grounded you? Like, what's different now? Like, what's keeps you from having a crazy day or whatever? Because usually for me, it's how would my wife react to me if I acted this way, right? Would she be proud of the way that I handled something? Because I hold her in such a high revere,
yeah,
that it kind of leads me on a right path. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of that, Chris, but she lets me be me. And I appreciate that because that's something that I struggled with for a long time was the fact that like anyone I dated or anyone I was with, they really like sure they let me be me to a point, but they didn't want me to be me like
Sure.
and you know, there's a lot that there's a lot that comes with me, right? Like it's and so she allows me to be me. She understood my passion and everything that I want to accomplish in life and likewise she knows when I've had a long day. She knows when I'm frustrated with stuff. Um like when I had like cuz I'm someone that has I have panic attacks, right? And like when I'm going through one of those episodes of having a panic attack, she knows how to calm me down and she knows how to like get me to where I need to be. And I've never had that. And so like again, like it was very early on in us dating that I was like, this is the woman I'm going to marry because I've never met anybody or have dated anybody like her. Like someone that truly understands who I am and what I want to do in my life and who I am as a person. I think that was my for sure like okay ding 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 you found who you've
Sure.
been looking for. But yeah, she knows what to say, when to say it. She knows when to listen to me. She like to like if I need to vent about certain things or um and she just and I love her so much for it, but her response to everything is always just like we'll figure it out, figure it out. And we both kind of feed off each other with that.
Dude,
Like when
that is
when she's
huge.
going through some things or whatever the case is, um you know, one of us has to be the calm one in the room.
Yeah.
And when, you know, if she's going through something, I'm like, we'll figure it out. Everything's all right.
Yep.
We're good. Right. And likewise. And I think just knowing that I guess what keeps me grounded with her is just knowing she's by my side because I know as long as she's by my side, everything's going to be okay. I'll get through whatever it is. You know, whether it's losing somebody, whether it's losing a job, whether it's,
Right.
I know I'm going to be all right.
Yep.
And she's my rock, man. Like she truly is. And to watching her, not to make this all about my wife here, but to watch her be a mother and all that. I mean, she's she's a legend.
It blows you away. It really does. I mean, you're resonating a lot of stuff that I feel about Stacy, right? Like,
Yeah.
she raised two little boys with special needs for almost 4.5, 5 years before I came into the picture. And to watch this the last 18 years that I've been with the boys and watch them grow up and to know that somehow she is on top of it every single time. You know, I never see her panic when it comes to that stuff. I
Uh-huh.
never see, and I'm over here, you know, I don't know, something earlier today. I was like, well, the boys aren't doing this and they have to be here and they need to do this. And then she's just like, it's fine. They'll be fine. I'm not going
Yeah.
to worry about it. And I'm over here, you know, 3 ways to Sunday freaking out because it's not perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that just shows you the genuine kind of people they are. So,
Yeah.
you know, and then you spoke about it being a mom, you know, Miles is around now. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Kid's a little trooper. I really want to buy him a little Cubs outfit just to irritate him.
Man, everyone's got to stop buying teams I hate. Cyclone Kathy last night at our listener thing at the iCubs game, and I'm very thankful for everyone that showed up last night. But she got Miles like some Royals onesies and
Oh
some
well,
Chiefs
that's.
onesies, and
I
I'm
mean,
like, I was like, he's not wearing this. Like, I was like, I can't fight. I've always said this. Listen, I married into a Chiefs family. I'm wearing a Giants jersey. Phil said I married into a Chiefs family. My wife's from Kansas. It's going to be really hard for me to fight the Chiefs thing. Like that
sure,
is,
yeah,
and if he grows up being a Chiefs fan, as much as I don't like it, I can understand it, and I can let that one happen. The Royals, that ain't happening.
that's
That
right.
we watch one baseball team in this house. All right, and it's the White Sox. So But but um but yeah, so like it's getting Royals onesies last night. I was like, oh man, like that's
All right, so I'll ask you this question. Miles comes along, changes everything for
yeah.
somebody, for a guy. What surprised you the most about having a young baby?
Oh, uh, how much my how much my mindset on things have changed. Like perspective. I've had a lot of perspective thrown my way in the last year, 6 months to a year, right? Um, things that I used to get worked up about, things that I used to think were the most important thing, whether it was work, whether it was whatever. I don't feel that way anymore. Like it, we used to joke about this on the show, but like I finally started to learn how to like unplug from things,
Mm-hmm.
because I was always on edge that I was going to miss something. Because like in working in the sports world, like it's a 24/7 news cycle, right?
Right.
And the last thing that I want to do as someone of a host of a show and also program director of a radio station was to miss something or to be late to something.
Sure.
And so like I always felt like I had to be on top of things. And like to a point I did. But I started to like not necessarily, I don't want to say not care, but I just was able to like, yeah, well, and I still don't do a great job of it. I'm learning to do a better job of it. Especially over the last couple of weeks when I haven't had anything to do. But like man, when it's time for me and Miles to play or hang out, like to really hone in on those times and be present and not be like, oh man, what's going on at Big 12 Media Days? What's going on? And like, I'll catch up when I catch up,
Yep.
and that's been, I think, the biggest thing I've learned about myself over the last year with him was perspective and being present in situations and um, truly living in those moments with him because like feels like yesterday he was born
Yeah.
and he's about to in 2 weeks be one. So
Yeah. That's.
it's been wild.
I mean, I was doing the math the other day. My oldest is 30. The Caitlin's 26. The boys are 23. Stacey and I have been together technically longer than my first marriage. I mean, time just it literally is a cliche when people say time flies
It
because
does.
it is crazy. I know for me, being a father, you've gone through some hardships the last year with your father passing away and then losing your job, and that weighs a lot on a man when he feels responsible for his family and things like that. I was the same way when I had cancer and when I lost my job in 23, which can gut a guy. Like I was low. That was the first time I ever went to therapy because you start to
Yeah.
question yourself. You start to question whether or not you're capable of something. And all while you're going through that, you're putting on a front face for your family to make sure that they're not worried, right? It's almost like a coach, right? Getting
Yep.
your ass kicked in the second quarter, you're panicking, but you can't let your team know that. You
Right.
you can't let the guys know that. It's stoic, same thing as a leadership in a career and things like that. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of pressure that I don't think a lot of people realize
Hmm.
that don't do it um, because it's a lot of pressure as a father. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think like, going through the last couple weeks, it's so like it's so weird, Chris, because I don't have like if this would have happened to me 5 years ago, I would have had such an extreme amount of panic and such like a huge like, what am I gonna do? And I just haven't felt that the last couple weeks. Like, and I don't know if it's like it's kind of like I know I'm gonna be okay, and I know like I have to provide for my kid. I know I got to provide for my
Sure.
wife, I don't know. Like I know whatever is to happen next was meant to be, and um I'm not in a rush to do anything.
Right.
Not that like not I want to be clear, like I know I need to like
Sure.
do stuff and get a job.
Right. Yeah.
But like I think my mentality has switched of, man, I gotta do this. I gotta start going to job interviews and
Right.
man, I find something that I want to do and I'll be okay. And luckily my wife is crushing it, and
Right.
like we're in a
I
situation
mean,
and I'm
trophy
lucky.
husband sounds like a pretty damn good job.
Listen,
Dude.
man, I the last 2 weeks I'm daddy daycare out here. I'm doing I even told my wife, I said, I was like, she's running 2 franchises remotely pretty much. And we just a couple weeks or like a month or so ago started putting Miles in home daycare.
Yeah.
She raised this kid the last year all by like me being at work every day by herself
Right.
for the most part, outside of when I'm home, and running a business.
Yeah.
Like the last 2 weeks, I'm like, I don't know how you did this. This is insane. Oh, like this is crazy. So so I'm lucky in that aspect where I know I need to do something, but it'll be on my time, and um I'm not in a rush to do anything just yet.
Well, I want to ask you a couple more questions about.
Yeah.
I want to ask your dad about your dad a little bit, and then we'll
Okay.
take another break, and then we'll talk a little bit about the ending here at KXNO, if that's okay.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
first of all, again, condolences on losing your dad. I lost my mom in October. It sucks. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's rough.
You're never prepared for that. But I like to kind of look back a little bit in that, you're a dad now. You can look back and look at your dad and go, huh, he wasn't so effing crazy, or this makes sense now. Have you had an instance there where you're like, I get it now, Dad? Like you kind of think, you think internally to Rick and go, yeah,
Oh man.
I get it now.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those. I think I'll have more of them the older he gets.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah, when he starts dicking around like you did.
like when he starts, you know, being a little, sass ass
Yeah.
and that type of stuff. But yeah, like there are moments I probably can't like direct to just like one. I think of just one. But there are moments where I'm like, okay, I see it now.
Yeah.
I see it. And like I said, as he gets older, I'll
Yeah.
definitely have those. And if he gets into sports, I'll definitely have those. Um, Although I think I'll take a different route than my dad, because my
Sure.
dad wanted to coach. He wanted to be involved.
Yeah.
And I've always said, like, I don't want, I say this now, and it could probably change. It probably will change. But like, I don't want to coach.
Oh shit, dude, that's not.
I don't,
You're gonna just sit over there. The boys. I coached the boys for a while, and then the 1 year I didn't coach, I sat on the sidelines, and my mom, my Stacy goes, you're not coaching, right? Like you can just shut the fuck up and watch the game.
Well, and like part of what I would, and this is where it'll be tough for me, but I would really appreciate for myself to just go down the right field line, sit in a chair,
And just root your kid on.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of
Yep.
asshole parents, ignorant parents,
Yep.
parents that don't know what's going on, especially if he's playing baseball. Like that will drive me nuts. So it's easier for me to just go down the line, take in the game, either by myself or with my wife, and watch it that way, and coach him along the way, like,
Sure.
but also teach him to listen to his coaches and to not be the parent that is coaching from the sidelines.
Right.
And, like there's a lot of that happening. And my dad always fought against that. Like my dad would have every year, he would have a parents meeting before every season of baseball. And he'd flat out say, like, here's the deal. When it comes to anything with umpires, you're not to say a word. Leave that to me. Leave that to the coaches. Pretty much like, don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass your kid. First off, don't embarrass me and our team, because you're a representative of that. So like, so I like knowing that aspect of things. Yeah, I don't want to be around parents. I don't want to be, because it's just, yeah. But like, that would be the one thing though, like let the coach my kid, and what we do on the side. Like if he's a pitcher, that will be impossible for me for not to give advice.
Right.
But let the coaches coach, and don't be the asshole parent.
Amen to that. I several times a week when the boys lived at home would say, "You guys are so lucky I'm not my dad," because he would react a certain way or whatever else, and I've realized that that's not the way I should do it. Right. So kind of the same thing.
I bet you my dad would. No, he wouldn't regret it, but
no,
there were times that he treated me differently, and not the way of sometimes what you see about like the bad side of parents being coaches. One of the, like, if I was pitching, and this is true story, I could be throwing a perfect game. I could be 5-6 innings, especially when I got older. I could be 5-6 innings in, no hitter, perfect game, only give up one hit, whatever. Chris, the first time I would walk somebody, I mean, the ball just had crossed the plate to be ball 4. Blew time, and it got to the point where our catcher used to love my first walk of the game, and he would sprint to the pitcher's mound. And because no one else got this, no one else, any other pitcher, they could walk 3-4 guys. Then my dad goes out, my dad, the one thing he despised the most out of anything that I've done in my baseball career is if I walk somebody. Like it was, I mean, he dead sprint walk to the mound. And it was words that I'm not going to say on here. And, but yeah, there's certain things like when my dad, but you know what, at the same time though, Chris, my dad taught me some life lessons, man.
Yep.
I remember I was in 6th grade. I was starting shortstop. I was hitting third, and it was all earned. That wasn't my dad just because I was a coach's kid. Because he, like, in all honesty, and it's easy.
He doesn't sound like a guy that's giving you the ball if you're not going to play. No, he doesn't sound like that kind of.
When it came to my father, I had to earn whatever I was doing. Like that was, he was not going to allow me to use the coach's kid excuse. Like that was not ever going to pass for me.
Right.
And the story that I'm about to say is a great reason why. Yeah, when I was in 6th grade, starting shortstop and this and that, Little League, you have to play a certain amount of innings. Every kid has to at least have one at bat. They got to play 1 or 2 innings in the field. And the way that my dad navigated it was every game, somebody had to get pulled from that game for 2-3 innings or whatever the case is. So whoever was on the bench that day could fill in and play.
Right.
Well, it was a Friday night game. We had a night game. I'm 6th grade. I'm in 6th grade. You're playing under the lights. Like that was a big deal back then because you only had one night game a week. And if you were the primetime night game, it was awesome. Right.
Yeah.
And I was looking forward to it all week. And I remember before the game, my dad coming to me and he was like, today's your game. You're going to be you're going to come out for a few innings. And Chris, I threw such a bitch temper tantrum. And I was like, no, you can't put him in. You can't do this. You can't do like, I'm the starting shortstop. Like the team needs me. I'm the 3-hitter. The team needs me. This and that. And I just was like, all during warm-ups, I was like, you can't do that. Like, he hadn't even taken me out. We hadn't even started the game yet, and I was bitching the whole time. And we were getting ready to start the game, and we're getting ready to take the field. And my dad turned to me, and he said, go grab a seat on the bench. You're benched this game.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I'm crying. I'm
Sure.
like, what is happening? Like, you're benching? What? I thought I was getting taken out in the 4th inning or whatever. And he goes, I'm not going to have somebody on this team react that way, especially if it's coming from my son, react that way when you know damn well what the rules are on this team when it comes to playing time and how things operate. So you're going to sit on that bench. You're going to watch your team. And you're going to cheer them on. You're not going to go off to the side. You're not going to go sit by mom. You're going to sit on this bench and you're going to cheer the team on, but you're a bench for this entire game. You will not play. And if somebody asks me why you didn't play, I will tell them exactly why, because you threw a temper tantrum and you're not being a team player and you're not being a good teammate. And I mean, the kid's mom that replaced me.
Sure.
Like, the 2nd inning came up and goes, Rick, you don't need, Sean needs to play. He doesn't need to do this.
Yeah.
And my dad goes, no, I need to do this. He's sitting on the bench. He needs to learn. And you want to talk about an awkward ride home that night. But you know what, Chris, at that moment, and it obviously, like, this was in 2000.
Dude,
I was in 6th grade. It stuck with me my entire life.
100%. That's just what I was going to say.
And it was a lesson that, man, there are things that, as much as I needed to play in that game, and I remember we ended up losing. It didn't affect what our long-term goal and everything was,
right.
But that was, at the time, that was a big deal for us, losing that game. But I learned a lesson of, man, it's not all about me.
Yep.
It's about what we're doing as a team. It's about sharing opportunity. It's about being a good teammate and supporting guys, and that no one's bigger than the team, no matter what the situation or case is. And sure. It's a philosophy that I've tried to incorporate my entire life and anything I'm doing. And yeah, that lesson it's stuck with me my whole life.
Crazy.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to finish up. Sean, I want to ask you about the end here at KXNO and kind of your feelings and where we go from now. So, all right, let's get a word from a couple of our sponsors and some of our charity endeavors. We always encourage charity endeavors here at Three Beards Media. Of course, we want you to support the Animal Lifeline of Des Moines. They are the only special needs non-kill shelter in Iowa that is fully funded by donations. And then we'll be right back with Sean Roberts.
Not every animal gets a fair shot, but that's exactly what Animal Lifeline of Iowa is here to change. Since 1986, they've been stepping in for the ones who need it most. Injured, abused, orphaned, and special needs cats and dogs across Iowa. This isn't just a shelter, it's a lifeline. As Central Iowa's only no-kill shelter dedicated to special needs animals, they provide life-saving care, rehabilitation, and the opportunity for every animal to find a forever home, no matter how long it takes. But here's the deal. They can only save as many lives as the community supports. So get involved. Donate online. Hit up the Animal Lifeline thrift store, where every purchase fuels their mission. Or, better yet, find your next best friend and adopt. Because every tail wag, every purr, starts with someone like you. Animal Lifeline of Iowa, where we provide much-needed TLC and a safe space until they find their home.
Buying or selling a home is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. That's why choosing the right real estate team matters. The Jenny Farrell team with RE/MAX Concepts has been helping families across the Des Moines metro find the right home since 1998. Born and raised right here in the community, Jenny understands the neighborhoods, the market, and what truly makes a house feel like home. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading your space, or preparing to sell, the Jenny Farrell team provides expert guidance every step of the way, from market analysis and listings to negotiations and closing. Their consultative approach means you'll feel confident, informed, and supported throughout the entire process. Jenny Farrell Team, RE/MAX Concepts. Call or text 515-779-7500. Visit jenniferfarrell.remax.com. Experience you can trust. Results you can move into.
Whiskey lovers, get ready for the ultimate experience at Whiskey Fest 2026. From exclusive tastings and live music to unforgettable networking and premium pours, this is the can't-miss whiskey event of the year. Kick things off Thursday, October 1st with the Women in Whiskey Dinner at River Center DSM. Then Friday night, October 2nd, enjoy the VIP whiskey tasting event at the Meridian in West Des Moines. The celebration wraps up Saturday, October 3rd with the whiskey tasting main event featuring incredible brands, bold flavors, VIP early entry, and more. To top it off, Old Man Strength will be broadcasting live Friday night from the VIP event. Raise your glass and join the experience at Whiskey Fest 2026.
All right, and we're back. All right, Sean. Man, you've been off the air for 2 weeks. Kind of came as a shock. I first heard about it from Tyler. Tyler texted me because Tyler had just recently joined the network to bring his pod off panel, off topic over, and then he's doing the new show with Bill Blank called Hawkeye Hangover.
Yeah, make sure you get
Sunday morning. So
make sure you fix his mic.
Yes, I've already had a conversation with him about.
I talked to him last night at the Icos game. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, great start to the pod. Figure out your mic. Come on.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I know. But you know, I know there's some things you can talk about and you can't talk about, and I'm not going to force you to do anything. Not that I could force you to do anything anyways, but you know, let's start here. I know that we had conversations last summer when you were kind enough to bring me on and me and Bill on and do some extra hosting and things like that. That your ratings were killing it. They were the best they'd ever been. Right? I mean, you brought back some live sports back on the air with Westwood One. You had a good thing going there. A little unfair, I think. A lot unfair, I think. What happened? But from your perspective, talk a little bit about that day and what that day was like, if you can.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the day itself started as a normal day. And you started to get some rumblings of some things possibly happening. But like Lucas and I at that time, like we had a show on location. So we're prepping the show, we're getting everything ready. We go out there, hour and a half in, phone starts to blow up. And at that point, I kind of knew something was happening with not just a couple people, just from the fact of like, well, I'm the PD and no one told me anything of what was going on.
Yeah,
so that was a telltale sign. I remember turning to Lucas and I was like, yeah, it's happening. So let's enjoy our last hour of doing a show together. So I don't know, like I won't get too much into the nitty gritty stuff. And maybe that'll come in time.
Yeah, no,
I have to have a little bit of a window on multiples of reasons.
Sure.
But I will say this, like that day, getting that call, and I can talk about this because this is just my like how I felt personally and how I continue to feel personally. I felt relief, and that's gonna sound weird because kind of like what we were talking about a little bit ago about like, okay, I got to provide for my son and my wife, and I got to go get a job. And I felt relief. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of it is, Chris, because I poured my heart and soul into that radio station. And I want to be clear about something here too. That like, because I lived it, trying to navigate it, and like what happened, that's not KXNO or KXNO management.
Sure.
There is no KXNO management. I was the KXNO management.
Right.
And even there is no KXNO management. I mean,
Right.
it's the company when stuff. Okay, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but like it's not KXNO.
Right.
But I poured my heart and soul into those call letters,
Sure.
knowing that no matter how good things were, no matter how great things got, whatever the case was, knowing that like 99.9% this was ultimately going to be the conclusion at some point.
Sure.
Like
Right.
at some point this was going to happen. When?
Yeah.
Who knows? Why? Who knows? So like living every day with that like dark cloud kind of
Right.
hanging over you, and to know that it was removed, like it's no
Sure.
longer
Oh,
there.
there's
And
you're working every day. I'll say it out of my words. I'm not speaking for you, but I would imagine it's a lot like um, working with a guillotine over your head every day, and you never know when it's going to come down. Right?
yeah,
There is a little bit of relief there.
yeah.
I will say that I think that one of the unfair things that I saw from the outside in, and again, you and I have never had a conversation about this. I want to make sure that we're clear about that. But I remember when uh, when Ross was let go, and there was some tension there, and then you got moved to the morning, and then you eventually got the program director's job, and there was and I'm not saying anybody said anything specifically, but there were people out there rumbling that you had maneuvered for that, and you should, and I thought to myself, what's he supposed to do? He's newly married. He's got a baby on the way. What is he supposed to just not take the job? Like, that's crazy.
Well, it's not even taking the job. It was like, that's my full-time job. Like, I can say no, but they'll just like to move me around or whatever the case was. Like, unfortunately, I signed up for, they could do whatever they wanted with me. And
Sure.
I didn't have a say.
Well, and that's my point. My point is, what was it? The alternative was for him to quit his job.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a feasible thing to do, especially in the fact that it's been well known that's been your dream to do that job.
Yeah.
To be in sports radio, right?
And I think
that's the point.
I think that like part of that like relief of what I was just talking about, I've told people this, but I was talking to my wife when it happened. I'm like, I think if this was 5 years ago or like back in 2020, like if that would have stayed and we didn't get brought back and everything, I would definitely feel different about this, because I accomplished everything I sought after, like everything I wanted to accomplish in my radio career, I accomplished.
Yep.
Like I wasn't chasing anything anymore.
Sure.
Like I wasn't chasing being a full timer. I wasn't chasing being in the afternoon drive host. Like those are the two things that I always wanted, and the two things that I always wanted to do. And so I left it, to use the cliche, I left it all on the field, man. Like I have no regrets on my time. I have no regrets in my career. Definitely after 2020, like knowing that you could be destroying revenue numbers and everything, but
Right.
didn't matter. They're going to do what they want to do, right?
Right.
So when we got brought back, like my mindset was always like, go full send into this, man. and
Yeah.
and never leave any doubt, because tomorrow you could get pulled into a room and see ya.
Yep.
And so to have the last 4 years where I was full time and doing all this, and got to work with everybody, and um, you know, was moved around and this and that and whatever. Um, I don't have any regrets in my radio career, and I can walk away from radio knowing like I accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish, and that's the end of a chapter now, and
Right.
I can move on, and yeah.
Well, I will tell you this, and I'll end it here. And you may not recall this, but one of the very first live remotes that we had down at Revelton, you came down, and you came on you came on the mic for 5 or 10 minutes, and I had said to you something about I've always wanted to do like a post call in show for the Cyclones, like that I've always wanted to do that. And I think I even said to you, I said I emailed Andrew Downs one time, and Andrew was like, "Yeah, thanks, okay, whatever." I think it was his response. It's a little more complicated than that. But your response to me was, "Chris, you don't need a radio station to do that. You've got the equipment right here. You can do whatever you want."
Mm-hmm.
And that really spurred a lot of what we do around here. That's the truth. I mean, shortly after that, we launched Side of the Storm. And then at that point, I was like, other people might have these dreams of doing this. Let's give an avenue for them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thank you from me to you, because that hearing somebody say that, just like Rob at Revelton, who tells me all the time, that I'm doing a good job and that you're on the right track, and hearing people that I respect do that means a lot. So
yeah.
That meant a lot to me, and it's kind of spurred what we do here. So we're going to play this last segment, which is the STFU. It's my favorite segment, where I have to shut the fuck up and you can say whatever you want with no repercussions whatsoever.
Okay.
And then we'll end the show. So let's get a word from the STFU segment, which is partially sponsored. So we invite people to donate to the Young Women's Resource Center. It's a great organization. And then when we come back, we're going to get to the final words from Sean.
Hey everybody, it's Steph Copley, the woman behind the STFU segment on the Old Man Strength podcast. When I told the guys I wanted to sponsor this segment, they recommended that I make a charitable donation instead, so that's what I did. I chose the Young Women's Resource Center in Des Moines, Iowa. They're a nonprofit that supports, educates, and advocates for girls and young women ages 10 to 24. Their whole goal is to make sure that these young women become strong, self-confident, and successful. And if you know me at all, you know that aligns with my goals as well. If you're interested and would like to donate, check them out at ywrc.org and donate today. And remember, don't forget to STFU and listen every once in a while. Thanks.
All right, Sean, floor is yours.
Oh man. Okay.
Chance to say goodbye, maybe.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's next, man. I will say, like, I'm very thankful for my time at KXNO. And like, man, the days of me and Trav and Ross and Chris and Murph and Andy and Kenny and TC, and I mean this last era with me and Lucas and Alec and Tyler and Connor and Justin Miller, and like so many people that I've worked with. It's the best years of my life, right? And I've had a lot of people, Chris, over the last week or so, everyone's like, "Oh, start this, do that, do that." And it's great, and I don't know what that's going to look like, right? But I'll say this: whether it's how people can help, how people can keep things like this going, because, like, let's be honest, there is no more local sports talk in the state. Like, there's radio, when it comes to like radio, right? So how people can.
Yeah, there's a billboard out there that would say different, Sean.
Oh no, I'm saying radio. I'm saying radio. I'm saying radio. But how people can support, how people can keep things like what you got going on, Chris, and what the guys at Iowa Everywhere got going, and what Travis and Ross got going, like how people can keep things like that going. Listen, obviously, watch, support the advertisers, man, because the advertisers are what are going to keep things like this going. If it, like, you go out and you support Revelton and tweet out a photo of you drinking a Revelton whiskey, like you, like Kristen, you know this, like this, it goes such a long way.
Yep.
Right. Support the advertisers. These advertisers are putting these local companies are putting their advertising dollars into podcasts and these YouTube things and all this stuff. Support the advertisers, because that's what's going to keep everything going. And if you want local sports talk, support the advertisers, because that's what's going to continue to keep driving, you know, what you guys got going on, what other people got, like that's what's going to keep this thing going. And you know, the KXNO era, it's done and it's over with. And there was a lot of great. I tend to focus on the good things with it, Chris. And there was so much good. There was so much good, and I learned so much from so many great people there. Whether it was Travis and learning so much from Ross and Heather and so many people, right? And I'm thankful for that, and I'm thankful for my time there. And I'm not ever. I might throw some jabs every now and then, but my outlook and I try to have a positive perspective, right? When it comes to iHeart. And my positive perspective is, without that company, I don't get to live out a dream. And so, you know, personal opinions on certain things and all that, maybe that comes in time. But, sure, you know, it could be very easy for me to sit here and bash the company like everybody else. And one, not going to do that for multiple reasons. But also, I don't get to live out a dream without that company taking a chance on me and hiring me and allowing me to be able to do what I got to do every day. So,
well said.
Yeah, thank you to listeners and thank you to the advertisers. And you know, we'll see what happens next, but support everyone that's busting their ass to provide content and give the state of Iowa a voice when it comes to sports.
Perfect. Sean, thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Check out Three Beards Media. We've got some great stuff out there. Billy and Willie's workshop is tonight. Sorry, Sean, we didn't get to play baseball player, porn star, country singer. I know that really would have been up your alley.
Been right there, man.
We'll bring you on for a special night at Billy and Willie's. I'm sure you'd be great.
I got nothing but time, Chris.
So there you go. Of course, tracking the storm and Hawkeye Hangover. Side of the Storm. Side of the Storm's got Monte Morris this weekend, so we're going to interview Monte Morris. So with that, we are out of here.
Old man strength, built to last. Try to break me, you won't get past. Ain't no quit, ain't no doubt. You don't know tough till you've been worn out. We'll make it, you'll understand.
All right, brother. I